Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Amina Wako from the Isili Voice, Kenya. And my question is, as East African, we see the back and forth about peace in Eastern Congo. Is Rwanda an obstacle to that peace? And in your perspective, what do you think the East African community and the AU and the international community should do to ensure the sustainability of peace in the Eastern Congo and the region at large? Thank you.
This subject, matter of Eastern Congo, peace and stability for Rwanda, for the region, and for Congo and beyond, has been an issue for a long time. I even don't know how to explain it so that a week or two or a month from now you don't ask me the same question. Because I've been asked this question like 100 times. I've tried to explain, I've given context, I've given the history and why this problem exists. But it keeps coming back. And by the way, again, if you are talking about the current problem in Eastern Congo, one, you may not wish to detach it from, I want to repeat that Eastern Congo is Congo. It's not another country on its own. So when you're talking about Eastern Congo problems, you're talking about Congo's problems. And people always miss that. I don't know why. But the history of it, I try to be brief. That problem has the thing called the M23, has been there for a long time, and the conflict arising out of or involving M23 has happened twice. The first one was in 2012. Now the other one is just recent. But in between there was a 10-year period. If you were a very keen observer or journalist, you would try to link the two and ask yourself, why? Why did we have this problem in 2012? And then we have it 10 years later again. All it means simply is that the problem actually was not resolved then. Otherwise, if it had been resolved, you wouldn't have it again 10 years after. The very same problem. But if you don't know, let me again repeat. The Eastern Congo problem is twofold. One is that of the Congolese citizens who are persecuted and uprooted from that place and sent outside as refugees, others killed, others imprisoned, others so on and so forth. And simply because they are called Tutsis. In other words, the kind of politics behind it is that maybe these people called Tutsis don't belong here, they belong to Rwanda. Or in other circumstances, they would belong to Burundi because they have the same population configuration. Now, then when you look at it deeply, And by the way, even the Congolese admit this, the Congolese government or leaders, they say these people are actually Congolese. Now, if they are Congolese, why you uproot them and send them where? Why don't they have the rights as citizens of that country, like others? And if you choose to, here in Rwanda we have now it is 125,000 refugees from Eastern Congo of this kind of people. Maybe you should even take interest in visiting these camps and interviewing these people and asking them what their history is. So how does Rwanda become responsible for this? That is one part. The other part is of, you have heard of something called FDLR. These are genociders, the remnants of these murderers of our people here in 1994. The names are known. Even now I can give you 20 names of their leaders who were here, who killed the people in 1994, who are there and leading these groups. The majority of people came back home. Remember, so many, well over 1 million, actually close to 2. In 94, Rwandans had fled and went into Eastern Congo. 99.9% of that group came back home. We have reintegrated them in this country. Again, you can look for these people everywhere. If you want, we can organize for you to meet. We'll send you to villages where they live, different villages, and you talk to them. They will tell you the story. They have come back. They've been reintegrated. They are not a problem to anyone, and no one is a problem to them. They have settled. But that small group that stayed behind is that one which links with other people from outside. Some of them Rwandans, others just outsiders in their own countries who associate with the politics of that time in 1994 of this country. 94, when the genocide was taking place, there were countries outside, people who either play part in their politics or who were associated with this genocide, with its history, and so on and so forth. So these few people who live in Eastern Congo, and some of them live abroad, they work with these people, and all along they have been holding, they have been hoping that they can come back to this country and do the kind of things they used to do when they were still in charge here. And now the government of Congo has armed these people, in fact, 2 forms. One, they have even integrated them in their armed forces. Others operate on their own, but alongside these government forces to fight these people being persecuted, I mentioned, associated with M23 or associated with 25,000 people who are living in camps here in Rwanda. And in fact, a bigger number, by the way, lives in the camps in Uganda. There is a bigger number of refugees, including these people, in Uganda. So you have seen in the media everywhere. This is why I'm saying, I really thought you people in the media are more intelligent than this, but you keep disappointing. It is simple. If you investigate a case to know the facts. But I think what happens is that you may even be having the facts, but you want to use them to suit your thinking or I don't know where you come from. If you are so much in love with FDLR, then you always distort things because you want FDLR to be seen in a good light. If you don't like Rwanda, that's a very common thing, then you put things the way that will put Rwanda in a bad light. But that's a different issue. We are used to that. So I take time a bit, if you will, to elaborate on this. So the whole story, the narrative has been created now. You see, Rwanda is involved in Congo. Even there are experts. I'm sure you have seen this group of experts report. I don't know what expertise they have, but they write about Rwanda's forces, RDF, in eastern DRC. Then they are very silent on government of Congo associating with FDLR and creating it and arming it and growing it to be a bigger force. They are very silent on that. That is how far their expertise go. And so the narrative is formed to make it sound like Eastern Congo's problem is actually created by Rwanda. But from these facts I'm telling you, that can be cross-checked as to their veracity, will show you a different story. And again, the narrative has been about turning a perpetrator into a victim. And this goes very well and relates to the genocide story and the story of Rwanda. And it is not just in the region, it goes way beyond. You saw, I was talking about the journalists a while ago. You have seen a consortium of journalists putting themselves together from across the world, or to just put Rwanda in a certain light where the Rwanda is always the bad guy everywhere, for itself, for the region, for the continent, and so the game goes on and on and on. So that just doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. And that relates very well with the story of Eastern Congo, which I'm explaining to you. In fact, in the same room some time back, another journalist was asking me, why are you helping M23 and so on and so forth? Because of the contempt I had for this kind of, and I still have, for this kind of narrative. It made me give him a reply, like I was saying, if it were you, why would you not help M23? And why I was saying that was to inform this person that actually the problem is not M23. The problem is not Rwanda. You have to look deeper to understand why why would somebody who was taken to Congo during the colonial period be shown exit from that place and sent to Rwanda? What crime has that person committed? Or what crime has Rwanda committed that happened? Who is responsible? You know it very well in Uganda, in Kisoro, that district has many Ugandans but associated with Rwanda, because in fact along the border we have relatives on one side, some living on one side, others living on the other side. It dates back that time of colonial period. But I have never had Uganda disassociate itself or persecute or remove these people from Uganda and send them to Rwanda. Neither would we be saying, you have relatives across, why don't you find them there and go and live with them and leave this place? So why does it happen in Eastern Congo? And why do people get confused about it? To the point they keep asking questions relating to it. So the issue can't be that Rwanda has forces in Eastern Congo. No, the issue must be, ask yourself, why? If that is true, why? That's how really intelligent people should behave. You should be asking yourself, why? Why is, much as you could also be asking yourself, why are these Congolese being uprooted from Congo and sent as refugees to Uganda or to Rwanda? You should be asking yourself this question, or you should be asking the ones behind it. You should be asking these Congolese why they will be doing that. Because the issue of whether Rwanda is in Congo or doing this or doing that, in fact, comes much later. And I'm happy to explain to you once you've answered these underlying questions. So, sorry to take that long, but it has been repetitive every time. And then you have experts telling a story that doesn't reflect any expertise. So, and what I'm telling you are things I tell these people of the UN or whether European Union or US or whoever, some of these journalists or even political officials who come and that's why this world is in turmoil. No wonder you just have people. I think people have been operating like robots. So that is the answer, my sister.
Laith Mushtaq from Al Jazeera. Back to the same report you mentioned before, Your Excellency, about issued by United Nations, was covering two things: the mining and the military situation in east of Congo. And 4 days later, there is a statement from State Department of United States was focusing on the mining. In your point of view, Your Excellency, why both the report and the statement, they just overlook the political situation? Thank you.
Well, that is really a question I can't answer easily because I don't know. Otherwise, the State Department, which represents the United States does more mining in eastern Congo or in Congo than Rwanda can ever do. Not even 100. So why they would be talking about that and not about themselves, I don't even understand. So that one, how can I answer that? Then you have a group of experts, you said, talking about what? Mining and
military situation.
Military situation. Military situation, the way they talk about it, they talk about maybe 15% of the problem. Even then, they don't put facts or evidence to it. This is why I think I explained it. If you are talking about RDF, Rwandan Defense Forces, and M23, and you are silent, I think I answered that, and you are silent about FDLR, and you are silent about the government of Congo expelling its own people from the country to go somewhere else, using these genociders who are here, who killed our people. How can I answer that honestly? I mean, you should be able to make that judgment yourself, or anybody here who sees that should be able to make the judgment. It's not up to me to answer that. I don't know how to answer it. I don't know how to answer that somebody is associated with the problem and is saying it the way they want people to see it or to understand it. I have no answer for that. I can't explain it. They should be the ones to explain it. In fact, I wish one day you could meet those people and ask them and say, why is it because this is not happening? Or is it because it is not there? That you are silent about it, that you are talking about something else that either is less important or actually is not happening, or if it was happening, it is happening for that reason you are silent about. Then they are the ones who can explain it better than myself. But we have told all of them, maybe you have also seen how we have responded to some of it. But we have told them that by that they have only become part of the problem, and they are not anywhere near being part of the solution. But I thought we must be having or looking at finding ways to have a solution to that problem. But if you handle it like that, you are not finding a solution. Rather, you are adding to the problem or even complicating it even more.